Hey guys, Chef Jean Ann here. I'm here to demonstrate a dressing for our cabbage slaw. Yesterday I made the raw soft corn tortillas for you guys, and this is going to work as a filling for those corn tortillas. I'm just going to demo the dressing part of it. I've already got my vegetable part of it, the slaw, all chopped up. It's about 1 cup of shredded green cabbage. You can shred it. You can actually buy those pre-packaged coleslaw packs if you don't have a lot of time. So it's 1 cup of shredded green cabbage, a half a cup of red cabbage, about a half a carrot. You can slice it and dice it however you want. If you have knife skills, use them. Julienne the carrot. If you don't, that's okay too. Do it whatever is easy for you and whatever you and your family like. About 2 tablespoons of cilantro. I leave my cilantro leaves whole, like this. And 2 green onions. If you don't have green onions, you can use red onions, regular onions. I just wouldn't use as much because it would overpower the rest of the flavors. Green onions tend to be really mild. So I'm going to go ahead. I have my cashews soaking only as long as it took me to cut these. So I would say probably an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, but I think it was about 30 minutes I had these soaking, but that's fine. It's just, you want to soak the cashews to soften them, make them easier to use in our blender. So I'm going to go ahead and drain them. That's a half a cup of cashews, raw cashews. You want the juice of 1 lime, or lemon, but I have lime today, so that's what I'm using. 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. You want some kind of acid in there. If you don't have apple cider vinegar, you can use red wine. It will change the flavor of it a little bit. About 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of agave. You can use other sweeteners like stevia. If you don't have agave, I would just add maybe a tablespoon of water because agave is liquid for stevia. What I use is powder. If you have the liquid stevia, ration it out. I don't think you would use a whole tablespoon of the liquid extract because it's very concentrated. And then 1/8 of a teaspoon of cumin. I have all of the liquid in here that I'm adding to the blender. I made this the other day and it took, let me scrape this out, it took a little while for this to start moving in the blender because as you can see there's not a lot. And sometimes these Vitamix blenders, you need a little bit more volume in there for it to work properly. But we'll see how it goes. What you're going to do is you're going to blend this up until it is smooth as it can be. And then you're going to mix it with your vegetables. Toss it with your vegetables and let it sit. I like to let it sit and then make it in the morning, let it sit in the refrigerator until I eat it for dinner because it kind of softens the cabbage and it marries the flavors together. So that's my experience. Let's see how this goes in the blender. Scrape down the sides a little bit, get all those chunks of cashews down into the blades. If you need to add a little bit of liquid to it, go ahead and add a little water. Just don't add too much. Add maybe a tablespoon or a teaspoon at a time. You don't want to dilute it too much because when it goes into the slaw, the salt brings out the water of the cabbage and it'll make it more waterier, is that a word? than what you want it to be. So and as I was just saying, the blades aren't moving, or the liquid, the dressing's not moving, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of water to get it to go again, smooth it out, because there's still some pretty big chunks in there. good. If I would have let my cashews soak for a couple hours, it probably would have been a little bit easier than having to add a little bit of water. Just because the cashews will soak up some of that water that it's soaking in. So I'm going to go ahead and add this dressing. I call it a dressing. You could just eat this cabbage slaw just by itself, like coleslaw, like people do, you know, with your barbecue ribs and all that stuff. Yeah, I used to eat meat. I used to have all those good fattening, not good for me type foods, but now I feel so much better eating raw, knowing my body is going to use everything that I just put into this recipe. All the nutrients, everything is still intact. Nothing is cooked out, nothing is processed out. All organic, as much as you can. If you can't afford organic, that's fine. I know some people say, what's the point in eating a conventional, you know, red bell pepper? To me, I think it's all about moving in the right direction, taking the right step towards that healthy living. If you can't afford organic right away, then do conventional until you start tasting the organic little by little, what you can afford. Then you're going to see what the payoff is, and you're going to say, why wasn't I doing this sooner? Or you can even join a CSA, a community supported agriculture group, and whatever comes in a box. It's like, you know, on Chopped on Food Network, you know, it's a mystery, so you get to kind of be creative and make your own stuff out of what the farm gives you. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up and let it marinate, and I'll make my tacos later. Maybe I'll come back and show you guys what this looks like assembled. I also have on top of these tacos, I put some guacamole and salsa. You can find those recipes. I'm probably not going to demonstrate those because those are pretty standard. Most people, even if you're not a raw vegan, have had salsa and guacamole, and there's tons and tons of recipes on the internet. So that's it. Thanks. Hey guys, I'm back to show you the assembly of our tacos. I went ahead and this is what the slaw looks like, and it's all mixed, marinated. I don't know if you can see that the lighting in my apartment is not the greatest, but you get the idea. It looks just like coleslaw. Any regular coleslaw, people wouldn't even know it was all raw and good for you and tastes good. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to take one of our tortilla shells that we made yesterday in the dehydrator. We're going to load it up with as little or as much slaw as you want. I'm not going to put too much, they tend to fall out. The filling, of course. I got my guacamole, and my salsas from some beautiful yellow and red tomatoes from the farmer's market, and the red onion from the farmer's market that I went to this morning. So fresh, organic, and delicious. Alright, so I'm going to pile it up with some guacamole, my favorite, and some salsa. No, I'm not Latin, so I probably sound funny saying these Latin words trying to have an accent, but you get the idea. And our assembled taco. You could build it up if you want. I like to keep it bite-sized, I guess you'd say, because I can't eat a whole lot. So that's it. You take a bite. It's delicious. Hope you guys enjoy this recipe. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave the comments or email me, and I will help you out as best as I can. Thanks a lot. Enjoy.